Welcome back to another episode of our drift car build-off presented by Spec Clutch and Coil Rad.
The 350Z is back, and it's time to address those angle deficits and too much rear camber that we had last time. Before we get down to angle mods, I'll thank you guys for waiting patiently for the 350Z to come back out of hibernation. I know it was a long build on the M3, but we're stoked to get this car back on the lift and get those angle mods and the rear camber dialed in a little bit better, as per our buddy Riley Sexsmith's recommendations based on our last track test. So yeah, thanks for watching, and now is the time for what we think is maybe one of the simpler, more affordable mods that you can do to add steering angle to the front of these cars. I guess you wouldn't add steering angle to the rear of these cars, would you? In any case, we're going to add steering angle to the front with these extra long GK Tech outer tie rod ends. They come with, I forget the exact dimensions, I think it's like 160 mil of thread, and the stock one has like 40 mil of thread, so they're way longer than the stock ones, and you actually need to cut them to length. So we'll show you exactly how to determine what length to cut them to. They also come with these spacers. So between the spacers and getting the length of this right, we should add a bunch of steering angle, and very affordably. I forget the exact price of these, Pete, do you recall?
I think they're $60.
60 bucks, okay, and we got them from Injuku Racing.
Yep.
Before we install the GK Tech tie rod ends, we marked on the ground here with a piece of tape what the stock setup is for full lock. You can see that lines up with the wheel pretty well. So that'll give us a baseline to measure the new amounts of lock that we get from this install. So we'll be able to show you visually how much extra lock we're getting. It just dawned on us to check to see if the steering stoppers were still in here, and Xander, we love you for selling us this car, but you didn't take the steering angle stoppers off your drift car? Come on, man. Anyway.
Well, maybe you didn't know about it. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I knew about it because I watch Adam LZ's channel, and he taught me that removing this little guy here with a couple of 14 mil and this bolt off of here, which touches on that stopper, gives you more steering angle. So why don't we blast these off really quick. We'll put the wheel back on and we'll see versus our tape line if we actually do pick up much steering angle. Maybe we don't, and that's why Xander didn't take them off. I apologize in advance if I busted your balls for nothing, Xander, but let's find out. Let's take them out and see where we get. Well, it does definitely give us a little bit more angle, as you can see, but it's not a huge amount. Like it's 3 or 4 degrees. I don't think it's insignificant, but it's definitely not life-changing. Like, I don't think that's gonna make a...
I'm not really sold on that. Does 3 degrees make a difference, DP?
I don't know. Like, in a game of degrees, maybe it does. I don't know. Put my bubble spec safety glasses on here, and I've removed this, what would you even call this? It holds the boot on, but it's not really a...
It's not a zip tie.
It's not a zip tie or a hose clamp.
It's safety wire,
fancy,
maybe.
twisty, safety Nissan wire. This guy won't come off until we disconnect it from the actual outer tie rod here. So crack this guy loose, and now it's just a matter of 2 wrenches here, by the way, to crack that guy loose. But it came loose very easily because Arizona car. The outer tie rod disconnected here. It's time to move on to removing the inner tie rod. And for that, we put a 21 mil wrench on the rack here and use the big old adjustable on the inner connection point here on the inner tie rod, and lefty loosey righty tighty, everyone. So I will try to go left here. There she goes.
Sweet.
Arizona car to the rescue once again. This car is such a pleasure to work on compared to that BMW, Peter. What were you thinking?
I broke my rule. I said I wouldn't buy Canadian cars anymore, and I did that, and I paid the price.
Arizona cars for life, bro. I guess the cheapest way to add angle would just simply be to add a spacer to your factory inner tie rod like this. The problem is you end up with not a lot of thread engagement. I mean, we still have maybe 8 threads there, but from what we're told, these can pull out of the rack because of the reduced thread engagement, and that's not a great way to end your day at the track. So that's really the big advantage of these GK Tech units is, as you can see, the threaded portion is much longer, which allows you to add the spacer and still have the same amount of thread engagement, if not a bit more, than you have with the stock inner tie rods. So this is really the secret sauce here, is the spacer, which is giving you more steering angle. And then they just give it to you in this very long threaded portion because it's universal and they don't know what kind of outer tie rod setup you're gonna have. So they do have a video on YouTube, believe it or not, that shows you how to shorten these. It's pretty straightforward. So our inner tie rod is threaded in now. It's bottomed out in there, and we want to get as much thread engagement into the outer tie rod as we can. So to do that, we're just going to take a depth measurement with our center punch here. We can see it goes in that far. My finger, hold it under here, and then I can mark it on the tie rod. Give us an idea of how much thread depth we want to leave on the inner tie rod for maximum thread engagement. So now that we've marked maximum thread engagement here on the outer tie rod, if we hold it up next to the inner tie rod, we can mark where we need to cut it so that we get full thread engagement on the inner tie rod. And we're going to take a little extra off just to give us a bit of adjustability wiggle room, because we're not 100% sold on the position of the knuckle as far as it being perfectly straight. So we just want to give ourselves some room to wiggle.
Room for adjustment.
We thought about cutting this on our fancy bandsaw, but we figured we'd keep it a little more DIY friendly and just use our die grinder here. So face shield so that if this thing shatters, I don't end up with a modified face. Let's give it. That's a clean cut, PT. It's a pretty clean cut, and as you can see, the nut threads on there no problem, but just to sort of bevel the edges a bit to make it easier to engage into the outer tie rod, I'm just going to sort of sand the edges off this a bit on our little belt sander here. So off we go. DP's Precision Machine Shop has finished the job, so I think it's time to go throw this on the car. So we've threaded this back in with the spacer in place, and now it's just time to tighten it down. Righty tighty. And I don't know if there's a torque spec for this, but I don't think a torque tool exists to execute that, so we're just gonna go good and tight. Getting these lined up is a bit of a struggle. 15 mil wrench on the inner here, and we'll see if we can get it to catch a thread.
There you go.
Might have caught, eh?
Yep.
Got lucky on the first try. Happens to everyone once in a while. So we will thread this in. It's gonna take a minute. Oops, forgot to put the boot on, so disconnected this. Boot's going on. We will clamp it on there, wire it on the base, and then redo this step that you just saw. And then we can move on to actually checking our front toe.
So the factory tie down here for this rubber boot is this really long piece of safety wire that Nissan uses, and then they just like wrap it around. It's kind of difficult to put back on and reuse because you're never going to get it as tight with your hands. So what you can do is use one of these tools, and I'm getting rid of the double loop here because I feel like it's a little redundant. We don't need it. So as you can see, what you do is just grab this safety wire tool, and usually what you would do is spin it here, but I'm using it by hand just because it's a little bit easier to do that way. But there it goes. It's clamped up to where it needs to be. And let me take this off now. So it's nice and tight, and all I have to do is cut this off and we'll be good to go.
Just doing a quick toe check here, and we can see we've got zero toe. We've measured it out at 182 centimeters across the front, 182 centimeters across the back, so we are spot on zero toe. Steering wheel is nice and straight. The wheels look visually nice and straight, so I think we're in a good spot. Let's see what we got for angle, everyone. Oh my God, it's so stiff. All right. Woo!
Woo-wee!
Look at that. That is a lot more angle visually, and we've marked it on the floor here, so we'll be able to show you exactly how much angle we've gained through the use of a very sophisticated device called a protractor, which I'm old enough to remember using at school. You guys have probably never used them before. The other issue that we had when setting this up is when we initially put the wheel back on and went to turn it, we're like, we didn't gain any angle, and that's because the wheel was hitting. So we had to actually put a 20 mil spacer in here to prevent the wheel from hitting on the lower control arm. We've got our $8 protractor here from Staples to measure our angle changes, and as you can see, we've got the steering straight, and it's sort of like the center line of our tire here to give us our baseline, and then we'll measure the angle off of there. This first line represents stock steering angle with no modifications. Then we've got the steering angle stopper removed, and then we've got our GK Tech arms installed and everything. So if we set this up At the point of intersection here, zero it out on the line. You can see that we've got pretty much spot on 40 degrees of steering angle stock, which is not a whole lot. Then if you come down to with the stoppers removed, we go up to about 1, 2, 3, we'll call it 43 degrees. So that's 3 free degrees from undoing 3 bolts. And then with the GK Tech stuff all installed, we jump up to 50 degrees, maybe a hair over 50. Let's say 50.5, just because it's fun. So there you go, everyone. You can pick up 10 degrees or 10.5 degrees of steering angle by making this series of modifications. And really, it's a very affordable thing to do, isn't it? Those GK Tech arms, I think, were only about 60, 70 bucks.
Yeah, 60 bucks, and I think another 10 bucks for those spacers.
As you would have seen in our previous episode on this car where we were track testing it, pro drifter Riley Sexsmith was really complaining about the fact that he just didn't have enough steering angle in the front of the car to get it to do what he wanted it to do. So it'll be interesting to retest the car and see what he thinks and see how it feels to me too as a novice drifter. So excited to get back to the track and try this all out. In the next episode, you will see us address this sort of poke issue we got in the front here, as well as some issues in the back end. We've got too much camber out back, and we've got a tow hook that's hitting the ground. So we'll tune all that up next episode. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Really do appreciate the support on this drift car build-off. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell not to miss any more drift car episodes. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Threading this into the steering rack is a bit of a fussy job because it's such fine threads that you got to get the angle just perfect, and you've got stuff out here kind of interfering with the long tie rod, but we'll get it lined up and thread it in there momentarily.